About an hour ago, it made landfall in Cuba. Both of these cards are about delays, so it may not come in as quickly as we're expecting. Ooh, I got the Four of Wands in reverse. So if you're in Florida and you can leave where you're at, and if you're in one of the areas that has a hurricane watch especially, I would say get out if you can with the Four of Wands in reverse. Four of Wands in reverse, I was saying, is literally a card about leaving home. Like upright, it would be like being comfortable in your castle. In reverse, it's like get out of your castle. So I do feel like the storm may not come in as quickly as expected, but once it's here, it's hitting. It might not last as long as expected either. It may move a little bit quicker, but it is going to definitely cause some damage. I would definitely take all precautions that are being given to you. Take it seriously. I do feel like it may come in like intense cycles, like cycle of like damage and then cycle damage, but like it's reading to me like, yeah, just cycles. Like imagine like something that has to like wind up and then go, wind up and go. Because the Four of Wands is about like being burnt out, and then the Six of Wands is about retreating after failure. So it just seems like it's going to come in bursts. And even the Sun in reverse is about like a temporary feeling. So it just seems like it's I'm getting like that's what I'm seeing. Like, oh, the Two of Pentacles and the Devil. There's going to be multiple different areas that are devastated by this. More than one area is going to be hit harder than they've been hit in a very long time. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that's what I'm. I pulled the Six of Swords, which is about leaving home. So it kind of really backs up the message of this card. Don't stay home. If you can get out, get out. I do feel like there's parts of Florida or parts of places that are on the radar right now will not get hit at all or as bad as expected, but other parts are going to get the brunt of that. The Eight of Pentacles. So I do think that any effort you can make into protecting your property or yourself is time well spent at this point. Shut off your windows, whatever you have to do or whatever you can do it. That's gonna do it. So for those who cannot get out or don't want to leave, so I feel like it's not gonna, maybe it won't arrive on time, or maybe it'll take a little longer to have an impact, but I feel like whatever the initial impact is, or whatever the initial diagnosis is, like if it seems like it's going to be like X, it's actually going to be Y. It's going to look like X for a little bit, but it's going to turn to Y. So like the initial damage report and all of that is not going to be accurate. There's going to be like basically like a tail end effect. Like think of like a lizard that's tail wraps around at the end. Like I feel like there's going to be like some kind of like it's over and then it either restarts, or like there's it could be that there's like a lot of flooding, and that flooding leads to further damage. But it seems like the initial storm is going to either come in slowly or not hit as quickly. Something like that's going to take some time to warm up, and then it's almost like a tease. Like it seems like it's over, but there's more additional problems that come from the actual storm itself, or from problems relating to storm damage. I'm thinking that when I was saying earlier, like I'm saying like zoom, 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 or like in and out, I think there's a lot of tornadoes. I think there's going to be like a crazy number of tornadoes from this storm and from like the wind circulation in this storm. So like if you watched my earlier video where I was like, it's like zoom, like start and stop almost. I'm thinking that's tornadoes. This storm's going to be bad, y'all. It's going to be bad. It's the beginning of a wake-up call, and it's going to be ugly. hope I'm wrong. I hope and pray I'm wrong. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I read the energy and that's what I'm getting. And I just have a bad feeling about this.
Replacement cycle, and typically this outer ring starts to rob energy from that inside eye wall, so that decays and then this outer eye wall consolidates. So for a period of time you actually have a weakening, or at least a pause in the intensification of the hurricane, but the overall wind field, the extent of those tropical storm force winds, is extended. Now that pause can be brief. Once that outer eye wall consolidates, we could be seeing Ian, and that is actually the forecast from the National Hurricane Center, start intensifying once again.
Yeah, there she is. It's huge. That tail that it has is crazy too. Look at that shear all the way. I want to know how long that is.
If you are just waking up and joining us, there's been a big change to Hurricane Ian, and that unfortunately is a trend to a more devastating and a more destructive hurricane. The winds have come up by 35 miles per hour in the last few hours. This is rapid intensification that we've been seeing over the last 3 hours. So this is a game changer, and this is why evacuations take place well ahead of the storm. You hope that you make those evacuations happen, and they are of the utmost caution, and you don't actually, have to deal with the repercussions. But unfortunately, what we're seeing with this trend, there's going to be a lot of people that are happy that they made that choice, that they left. And when they get back, they're going to see a huge impact with what is left behind after Ian goes through Florida.
Okay, I understand that some people are going to understand what I'm about to say, and for some people it's going to be a stretch of the imagination. I want you to listen to me and look at what I'm about to show you with an open mind, and most importantly, some open and active listening ears. So there is a volcano named Etna in Italy that this is the 4th or 5th time this year, 2022, that it has erupted. The name Etna means kernel, grain, or little fire. Important in a second. It looks like the sky is on fire, okay, with how this is erupting, or it looks like a flame, right, from, let's say, a lighter. Also going to be important in a second. Be right back. Now, keep in mind that I said earlier that it seems like the storm is like stop and going, stop and going, stop and going. Hurricane Ian in Florida and all the surrounding areas. So a hurricane is like a circle, right? It's like almost like a saw blade going around in a circle. It's like winding something up, right? Then on the other side, we have a little bit of a flame, little flame, okay, not big flame. This volcano, massive giant volcano that can be catastrophic with damage, is named after a little flame. Now I want to show you the image that these events happening together are putting in my mind. So this is Etna that's going off, okay, and it looks like the sky is on fire. It literally says in one of the news clips. Then we have the hurricane that looks, like a hurricane. Then we have Florida that looks like that. This is what I'm getting, right? This happened first, this is happening here. You put them all together. Little fire. It's forming a lighter. Told y'all it's the beginning of a wake-up call. Now here's where things get really interesting. This is Italy. This is where Etna is, the volcano that's erupting right there. This is like a boot kicking away, okay, where the volcano is at. That's Florida. Shape like a boot. Shape like a boot without like the foot part.
I don't need to diss my.
An estimated 38 small earthquakes have occurred beneath the summit of Mauna Loa volcano since 2 a.m. on Friday, September 23, 2022. The U.S. Geological Survey's Hawaiian Volcano Observatory reports that the quakes are part of a small seismic swarm beneath the summit caldera region. Most
Italy, where the volcano is. Where the hurricane is. Where the volcano is. No foot, it's kicked away. Foot getting ready to kick it away. It's right there. Okay. But then, whoop, it kicks it. And we've got same position.
Bounce, kick. Strike, you want to be pulling your chest out. If you point your chest downwards, it will put your power downwards and won't let that ball really take off. You want to make sure that when you're striking the ball, you're hitting it with a solid foot, which means you're locking your ankles and pointing your toes downwards. You want to keep your follow through on the strike low. Don't lift your leg too high. Let the technique make the ball lift, not your leg going up.
That other idea is I'm going to go a little bit further south and avoid that drier air. So here is the back edge. But this dry air, it's trying to wrap around and into the center. Now, if this was to play out 18, 24 hours, yeah, it would eventually win the battle. Okay, the drier air would. But you're talking about a landfalling near Category 5 hurricane in about 4 or 5 hours. So yes, the drier air eventually will take hold, but it's not going to make a difference right now. Hurricane tomorrow morning, right in the middle of the state.
1, 2, 3. So the bottom third of the ball, just under center, is where you want.